I'm Christine Lisi. Jets coach Robert Saleh today defended embattled quarterback Zach Wilson, but he would not name the starter for Thursday night versus the Jags. Mike White, out yesterday with injured ribs, is still being evaluated by doctors. NBA, no LeBron James for the Lakers tonight against the Suns because of left ankle soreness. Meantime, LA center Anthony Davis expected to be sidelined for multiple weeks with a right foot injury, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski and Dave McMenamin. The Lakers should, though, be able to weather AD's absence, in the opinion of ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
In all honesty, I really think the Lakers are going to be okay, though. I think that they're going to be able to keep their head or stay afloat, around that 500 range until AD gets back. I really do. I think they're in a better position than the Warriors.
Big perk on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Golden State Steph Curry out a few weeks with a shoulder injury. TCU's Sonny Dykes named Associated Press Coach of the Year after leading the Horned Frogs to the college football playoff in his first season with the school.
Coming up Tuesday, with both Steph Curry and Anthony Davis expected to miss extended time, which injury will be more costly for their team? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Tuesday, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Saints win. Tigers continue their bowl prep. Pelly's on the floor tonight. Big-time commitment for LSU football. We'll get to all of it here over the next 3 hours. No guests, so if you want to get involved, a lot of great opportunity to do that. You can email us, tweet us, jump in the bike forward, YouTube chat, or text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. We'll get to the Saints here in about 12 minutes from right now, as they did manage to beat the Falcons and improbably have mathematically kept their postseason hopes alive in the pillow fight that is the NFC South. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Saturday. This was the first time that Kelly met with reporters since bowl prep began. And we were looking for clarification on several things, namely, of course, Jayden Daniels. We've not yet gotten a decision from Jayden on his future, if he's going to return, if he's going to go into the draft, if he was going to play in the bowl game, an update on the ankle. Well, we got that update from Brian Kelly on Saturday, and here's what he said.
He looked really good today. He's been limited, but today was kind of his last test. One of the things we like to do is put the quarterback in direct snap, so he's pushing off and driving back. It's hard. When you're in shotgun, you shuffle your feet and you throw, and and that's how you can get him back quickly when you're in shotgun. But you put him in direct snap, and he's got to drive and use his weight and transfer in a 7-step drop, and then step up and move. You're ready. And today he went through that progression. I would say, today is Saturday, right? If we were playing tomorrow, he'd be ready to play.
That's the fantastic news there. So looks like Jayden Daniels, you give him, again, 2 weeks from today is the game. 2 weeks from today is the Citrus Bowl with LSU against a very depleted Purdue team, and they're preparing to have Jayden Daniels. Now, the question is that I'm certain Jayden Daniels will make the announcement sometime after the bowl game, it would assume at this point, if he plans to return to LSU or if he's going to go pro. Everything that I've gathered is that he's truly undecided right now. And we'll take that time with his family, maybe over the holidays and after the bowl game, to make that decision if he's going to go pro or play fifth collegiate season. But what we do know clearly is that Jayden Daniels is preparing to play in the bowl game 2 weeks from today against a Purdue team that, as we've talked about, is without its head coach, its sixth-year senior quarterback, its top 2 pass catchers, including the guy who led the nation this year in receptions and receiving yards, a starting cornerback, a depleted coaching staff. It's very similar to what LSU was a year ago, and in the bowl game, and it's likely going to be advantage LSU this go round. Now, a couple of the other things we were interested in. This was assumed, but Brian Kelly did confirm on Saturday that B.J. Ojulari is not going to play in the game.
Is B.J. Ojulari going to be playing in the Citrus Bowl? I don't think he said if he would.
He is not going to be playing.
So Ojulari opts out. I think that's something we probably all expected. Here was Brian Kelly on how they replace him on the edge.
Yeah, we think we've got some options there that I think will provide the kind of defensive pressure that we need. We like some of the guys we have that are practicing right now. We're going to put all 10 guys up on the line of scrimmage, blitz them all. Trade secrets.
I love that he jokes. I do. I just don't love his jokes. Is that a fair way to say it? That I love that
Yes.
I love that he jokes. I just don't love his jokes.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Can you isolate the little
Yes,
laugh?
of course.
Let me hear the little laugh. I mean, even from his first press conference, he even had to clarify that it was joking. Let me hear it.
Blitz them all.
Just complete. Do you think maybe the assembled members of the media were because it's been a minute since we've talked to Brian, had a press conference, and maybe we're just not on our collective game in that moment?
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm just truly curious. Does he expect the room to burst out in laughter?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a problem.
See, but that's why he keeps telling the jokes.
But we've gone through, 15 weeks of this now?
He's been doing it his whole life.
Fair.
That's who he is. So, yes, he expects the laugh. Maybe he hits on 1 out of 100. Remember the time when he brought the $10 bill?
That was good.
The Colby Richardson is having a heck of a day. He's betting about 10%. He's right there. He's 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 he'll connect. I am interested, though, as far as the edge rushers to see how this works. So with no B.J. Ojulari, everyone's interested in Savion Jones. Now, look, Savion Jones primarily was playing in the Ali Gay role at that left end spot, not in the jack linebacker spot where B.J. Ojulari was. That was Harold Perkins and Xavier Carter. So I'm really excited to see where they play Savion Jones. If they do move him over to that jack spot, because that'll be an indicator of what they're looking at next year. I think I'll also be interested to see if Xavier Carter gets a lot of run at that spot, and then what they do with Harold Perkins, who of course is just going to be very interesting always because of what he's shown to be here in this freshman year. So they do have options. The other option that they have, which we'll be curious to see if they take advantage of, is Quincy Wiggins. So I want to remind you, Quincy Wiggins was a freak show true freshman. And he's a guy that's played in 4 games. Had the foot injury, and they ultimately decided they're going to redshirt him. So he's going to be done. Remember, so on Friday, the NCAA passed the waiver, the one-time waiver, that allows players to play in the bowl game and not have it cost them eligibility. So Quincy Wiggins is available to play in the bowl game and could very well fill that slot as well. And Brian Kelly was asked about that waiver, by the way, and he's in favor of it, as you would expect he would be.
It helps a lot. Look, you've got guys that are deciding on whether they play in the bowl game, and pursue their options relative to the NFL. Then you've got the transfer portal. It's so difficult to get a mid-year into school prepared to play. That's not a great option. So I think that this is a great move by the NCAA, and I think it really almost is player safety because we're so depleted, from a roster standpoint, that it takes away any of the, well, I don't have enough players to play. I mean, you guys all remember last year, Garrett Nussmeier could have played in this game last year. So this is a smart move. It's been well received.
Just for when you look at, for the record, when you look at participation report for LSU this year, there's only two players that have played in 4 games, and by playing in the bowl game would have forfeited a year of eligibility, but now they maintain it. One is Derek Davis, who entered the transfer portal last week, so it doesn't matter anymore. The other is Quincy Wiggins. So on this LSU, as far as college football as a whole, of course it matters, and it's a great move, but as far as this LSU team, it really only matters for those 2 guys, and with Davis in the portal, it really only matters for Quincy Wiggins. So we'll keep an eye on Quincy Wiggins in the bowl game to see how, if they play, which I'm assuming they will now because they can, and how much he may play. He has been out there at practice. He's been in some of the videos that they've shown. The other spot as well that Brian Kelly updated was cornerback. Here was Kelly talking about who's available to play on the outside for the game.
So we've got Jarek Bernard-Converse, so obviously he'll be available, and Jay Ward. So feel really good at the cornerback position, and those will be our starters. I think we feel like the depth there is certainly young, but we'll be okay there. So we feel like our 2 starting corners are going to match up very well.
So no Mekhi Garner for the game. So you'll start Jarek Bernard-Converse and Jay Ward. The other guy he said he's excited about is LaTerrence Welch, and I am too. LaTerrence Welch played in 12 games this year. So he as a true freshman, played in a bunch of games, but only has I wrote it down. 3 tackles on the season. So primarily a special teams guy and in a reserve role, but that's a guy who's one of the young corners that you think they can start to rebuild that room for the future. I was bullish on a year ago when they signed him. And I know I've told the story before, but when Elias Ricks announced that he was going to Alabama, Dwight McGlothern quote tweeted Ricks and said, "We could have been great together." And I loved this. LaTerrence Welch went and quote tweeted McGlothern and said, "Let's go be great together. Like you and me, let's do it. Let's ride." And I love that in a corner. You want that bravado. And I think that kid's going to have a lot of potential, man. So good to see him get out there and play a bunch. We'll see how much run he gets in the bowl game against Purdue. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Saints get a win. They beat the Falcons. We'll talk about that. Got to get to a lot of the weekend that was for recruiting purposes. Desmond Ricks, this should thrill LSU fans. Like literally just as I was talking as we opened the show, he tweeted this photo. No context, just a photo of him wearing the LSU uniform at the top of the South Stadium. What do they call it? The Skyline Club, up there at the Skyline Club overlooking Tiger Stadium. So Desmond Ricks, the 5-star cornerback who was in town this weekend. Maybe a nice hat tip to the Tigers, who I think a lot of people are expecting, hoping, if not expecting him to pick when he makes his commitment this week. Early signing period starts on Wednesday, so it's a big week for LSU and for all of college football. All right, let me knock out a break, y'all. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. When we come back, we'll talk a little Saints. Houdat's get back on the board. They sweep the Falcons in the season series and maintain pace with the other 3 doormats in the league behind the 6-win Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money, 293-0450. You can call them right now, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. That's lainsurance.net for Insurance Network of Louisiana. Something else, I mention all the time, of course, better coverage for less money. The other thing that I should mention more, and will continue to do so, is that for so many of you after Ida, and with claims going up the way they did, a lot of insurance providers left the state of Louisiana. And so it left a lot of homeowners without insurance. If that's you and you need options, call Insurance Network of Louisiana. It is unlikely that there's any scenario that you could present that they haven't seen. So let Insurance Network of Louisiana go to work for you. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
Winter can be magical. The Mercedes-Benz winter event is here, and there's no better time to check out our new Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge inventory. We have the vehicles that can make your holiday extraordinary. See all the latest technological features on the newest models during our Mercedes-Benz winter event. Shop our best of the best award-winning dealership. Visit mbobr.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We're going to enjoy this. We've got about 24 hours to kind of soak it in a little bit. And then, we got a short week to get ready to go up to Cleveland. So, yeah, it was a good win. Our guys deserve a lot of credit for battling the way that they battled all year long, and they came out ready to play today, and we made enough plays to win.
I said it week one when the Saints rallied to beat Atlanta, as ugly as that was. You damn right you enjoy it. It is hard to win in the NFL, so however you can get a win in the NFL, you take it, you make no apologies for it, and yes, you enjoy it. I know for the Saints, this has not been the season that many of us thought they'd have or hoped or have become accustomed to, given the success they've had over the last 2 decades. And it's very disappointing, and there are some very real questions that this organization is going to have to face when the season's over. What is your path going to be at quarterback? Are you going to go into free agency? Are you going to draft a quarterback? There's some veteran players that as you make some really difficult cap decisions, you're going to part ways with. And some guys that have been cornerstones of this organization. So you've got some really tough decisions coming, and what will be a likely very bumpy offseason, and you have the uncertainty surrounding Dennis Allen as well. But you're 5-9. You managed to win a game in the NFL on a Sunday, and if you don't think that's difficult, ask the Indianapolis Colts, who just blew the biggest lead in the history of the NFL on Saturday in a shocking loss at Minnesota. So yes, You won. You beat your rival. You won a division game. All of that matters, and you should absolutely enjoy it. I was not really able to enjoy the first quarter of the game. Like, for example, when this happened.
He will throw it. And he's going to take a deep shot. And he's got Rashid Shaheed. Taysom Hill to the rookie. Touchdown, Saints.
Awesome. Adam Amin, our buddy Adam Amin on the call for Fox. Didn't get to see that. Nope. I was listening to Mike Hoss and Deuce on the radio because the antiquated technology that I subscribed to decided to behave like an antiquated technology. This was the message that I had on my television screen in the den. It was, did anybody else have this happen yesterday? Apparently, and I don't know if this was an issue with Fox. Well, it can't be with Fox, but it was either or with Cox Communication or with the local Fox affiliate, WGMB. But apparently they got overwhelmed with World Cup coverage or viewership, and they went kaput. The Fox channel was not available at kickoff of the game. So I got this black box that said, please try again, having some trouble on our end. This channel isn't currently available. So I didn't get to watch the first quarter of the Saints game. I was just listening on the radio like it was, 1946. Not like the NFL today with every freaking game. And you know what's going to happen? And a lot of you did message me on Twitter and said, Matt, cable? Really? Cable? I get it. Yes. You'll have to take that up with Mrs. Scone because she is the one who has married herself to antiquated technology and continues to overpay for said antiquated technology every single month, despite my many requests that we cut the cord. But no, we got cable, and for that reason, did this happen to anybody else? Anybody else? Paul, do you have cable or are you a cord cutter?
We have cable.
Do you have Cox?
Yeah.
Did you get the beginning of the game?
I did. I saw the whole thing.
You have Cox?
Yes.
Okay. Muse, you don't. We talked about this earlier.
No. Don't have that.
Who else had this happen? It was literally the only channel. The only channel was Cox at the beginning of the game yesterday. But then again, we're also we still got a landline. People laugh about it. I'm like, don't laugh at me. Laugh at my wife. She's the one who insists on having a landline. Pay $3 a month for it or whatever it is. She wants the landline. Fine, whatever. Have your landline. I don't care.
Comes in handy.
I'm start missing Saints games, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so I didn't get to see it. So I'll tell you my impressions of the beginning of this game without having actually seen it, but having seen it through the eyes of Mike Hoss. Really nice opening drive for the Saints to go down and score to get up 7-0. The touchdown pass to Juwan Johnson on 3rd and 9 was fantastic. I know they reviewed it and scored, saw it later, but very nice to get on the board early. And then came the touchdown pass to Rashid Shaheed, the 68-yarder from Taysom Hill. A few observations. Great to go up 14-0. You get the ball back, and it looks like you're going to put together a drive to go up 21-0. And considering you're facing a rookie quarterback making his first start, a 21-0 hole might have been too much for him to dig out of, as it proved to be, because Atlanta only scored 18 points in the ball game. You have a 2nd and inches. They actually measured. You had 2nd and inches. Cesar Ruiz whiffs. They blow up the play. Kamara loses 3 yards. And then you have a procedure penalty, which now makes it 3rd and 9, and you don't convert. So you went from 2nd and inches to 3rd and 9, you don't convert, punt. Atlanta would kick a field goal to make it 14-3. Then you get the ball back, and you have a beautiful drive going, and you're in the red zone, and David Johnson fumbles in the red zone when you really probably could have put the game away right there. But that's the nature of a bad football team. That's what happens when you have these types of inconsistencies. You don't make winning plays. So despite the fact that you go up 14-0 and you had a chance to shove a dagger in their heart early, you couldn't do it. You went punt, fumble, punt, end a half, and then you scored on your first drive of the second half, answering Atlanta's touchdown drive. So you're up 21-10, and the Saints would manage to hold on. But even then, it became almost a circus act. Like you're trying to run out the clock, and Taysom Hill can't get the first down. So now you've got a 4th down play, and you put Taysom Hill under center. Now listen, I'm the guy who screams, stop going out of the shotgun in short yardage situations. Put your quarterback under center. He knows the snap count. Pick the gap and just lean forward. But when Taysom Hill is always in the shotgun, now you're asking him to do something he doesn't do, which is take a quarterback center exchange under center. And, of course, he fumbled it and you recovered it, but you turned it over on downs and you gave Atlanta at least a breath, a last gasp there. But Desmond Ridder ended up not realizing the clock ran out of bounds and the Saints would hold on to win. But that's just, I tweeted it yesterday, just this season can't end soon enough. Every Sunday is just an exercise in futility. They're a bad football team that they're poorly led. They don't make winning plays, and it's just a shame. So, I'm glad they won. I'll never cheer for my team to lose. I mean, it would take an ice cube in hell type scenario. That probably doesn't make any sense. There's not an ice cube's chance in hell that I would cheer against my team. That's what I meant to say. But the only scenario would be something like the Jets a few years ago. If you remember, the Jets in Jacksonville were competing for the worst record in the NFL. The Jets won a game late in the season. Ultimately, Jacksonville got the first pick, which was Trevor Lawrence, and the Jets end up taking Zach Wilson. Well, when you think of it in those terms, what mattered more, winning that game or drafting your franchise quarterback? We obviously know what the answer is with the benefit of hindsight, and that would be the only scenario where I could even imagine cheering against my team. So there's some of you who are like, I wish the Saints would lose out so they'd fire Dennis Allen. What I would like to see is for the Saints win out. I would like to see them actually show progress and show signs of progress and sort of a comeuppance and development and progress. I just don't think that that's realistic. But they got a short week now to go on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns. A couple of other highlights from the day. Juwan Johnson with a couple of touchdown receptions. Hard to believe that Juwan Johnson is leading the Saints in touchdown receptions on the season. I mean, good for him. He has made the most of that opportunity. And the Saints' tight end spot, just as long as Sean Payton, now Pete Carmichael, we're here calling plays, it matters tremendously. I mean, if you want to go back to Shockey, and we could talk about Jimmy Graham, of course, and they tried to find it with Kobe Fleener and Jared Cook. I mean, they've searched for this guy. And they drafted Adam Troutman in round 3, and we're all hopeful he could be the guy, and he hasn't been. But Juwan Johnson's emergence has been awesome. 4 catches for a career-high 67 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He leads the Saints in receiving touchdowns, and he very well could be that guy who's one of the pieces they used to build around because he's on an affordable rookie deal as an undrafted guy. So that's what the Saints are going to need. They're going to need Juwan Johnson and Caden Ellis and guys like these who are going to be affordable to play above their contracts. It's the only way you're going to get back to respectability without a complete teardown. So nice to see that day for Juwan Johnson. Terrible by the fumble by David Johnson was awful, and it's a spot where you could put it away. I don't know why he would even be back this week, but we'll see how it goes. But the other one to mention, of course, is the guy who you just heard on the touchdown reception in Rashid Shaheed, because another undrafted guy who's playing way above his contract, and that's just what it's going to take. And they'll have these decisions and conversations in the offseason about quarterback and how they're going to make over this roster when they're going to have to clear $60 million worth of cap space again, and you're going to see restructures and you're going to see veteran players let go. You're going to need guys like this to play big time. And Rashid Shaheed and Juwan Johnson and Caden Ellis are examples of guys who have continued to do that. Kentavious Street had a very nice day yesterday as well, had 1.5 sacks. So those are the guys that you're going to have to keep an eye on and hope that they continue to produce at a very high level, and a lot to prove maybe here over these next 3 weeks. Saints win. They're 5-9 on the season. They do mathematically have a possibility to make the postseason. It's going to take them winning out. There is a scenario where if the Saints lose one game, they could still make it at 7-10, but the likelihood of what would have to happen for the Saints to make the playoffs at 7-10. Cat Terrell had a really nice write-up at ESPN.com for the scenario. So here's what would have to happen for the Saints to make it at 7-10. But one of the caveat is one of the wins would have to be Carolina, obviously, because if Carolina wins out, they're in. So if the Saints lose another game, the Saints could make the playoffs at 7-10. They would need the Bucs to lose out, The Panthers would have to lose to the Lions and, of course, to the Saints. And then the Falcons would have to lose to either the Ravens or the Cardinals. So the Falcons lose one of those games. The Panthers lose to the Lions. Saints would have to obviously beat Carolina, and you need Tampa to lose all their final 3 games. So it's possible, certainly not likely, but there is a heartbeat in a terrible NFC South for the New Orleans Saints. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com. Get on by. Test drive the brand new ID4. That's the all-electric vehicle, the all-electric SUV for everyone. It's at South Point Volkswagen. They got them on the lot, so if you want to go test drive one of their new electric vehicles, you can do it. And you can reserve it right now online at southpointvw.com. It's right there on the banner if you want to check it out. You can search by year, make, model, body style, price. It's all right there to search. New or certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge or online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. For South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, you can always text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. I'll catch up on some of those whenever, let's see. I'll catch up with some of those when we come back from the break. Also, we'll go around the SEC, and LSU basketball gets a win over Winthrop on Saturday. A few thoughts from Matt McMahon's squad's latest win as they're putting up a pretty impressive record in against albeit very bad competition. But a few thoughts on that when we come back. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
All right, y'all. Christmas is this weekend. Are you cooking for the whole family? How about you let Rouse's handle everything? Go to Rouse's.com. As they say, you can leave the fuss to us over at Rouse's. They have catering options that can handle your entire holiday meal for Christmas Eve, for Christmas Day. If you're having that Christmas party or holiday party this week, they can handle all of it at Rouse's. So go to Rouse's.com. You'll see right there on the homepage where you can leave the holiday fuss to us for those holiday dinners. You want that centerpiece, if it's the turkey or the ham, whatever it may be, and then all the sides they can handle over at Rouse's. Go to Rouse's.com. It is heat and eat holiday meals from Rouse's. Cornbread dressing, the green bean casserole, the sweet potato casserole, all the gravy, the King's Hawaiian rolls. They've got it all. Dirty rice dressing, oysters, Bienville dressing. My goodness, a taste of Louisiana this holiday, and leave the fuss to Rouse's. Rouse's.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Nearly half of children in foster care drop out of school. But you can rewrite that story. Change a child's story. Become a volunteer today.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hayes, time to think about it, time to drain it. LSU heating up.
After further review.
Cam Hayes with 3 of his game-high 25 on Saturday. LSU beats Winthrop by 8, 89-81. It was not easy. Winthrop, who's just 5-7 on the season, and a very bad basketball team, actually led LSU at half, 39-38. But a big second half for the Tigers, 51 second-half points for LSU. Tigers would they never actually really pulled away. KJ Williams had to hit a three-pointer with 48 seconds left, which kind of sealed it for LSU after Winthrop had got it within 4. So Williams finished with 18. Adam Miller got going again offensively, which was really good to see after a couple of really disappointing outings back-to-back. But Adam Miller got going with 14 points for LSU in the game. And as we mentioned, Cam Hayes, the NC State transfer, led the way for the Tigers with 25 points on 8 of 11 shooting from the floor. He was 4 of 6 from 3. So Tigers moved to 10-1 on the season. They got one more non-conference matchup they'll play this week against East Tennessee State. Interesting tidbit there. John Jancic, who's an analyst on LSU's football team. If the name sounds familiar, it should. John Jancic was like the defensive coordinator at Tennessee. He's been a lot of places. Was at Georgia a year ago on their national championship staff. Is a defensive analyst, like a senior defensive analyst on Brian Kelly's staff here at LSU. His son is a player on the East Tennessee State basketball team. I think it's Brock. Hang on, they have several sons. I want to make sure that I have it right. But he's a senior. His name is Brock Jancic, a 6'8", 225-pound senior forward. Who's on the East Tennessee State team. So you'll have a little split allegiance on Wednesday with East Tennessee State coming in. You'll have son of an LSU assistant coach playing on the East Tennessee State team. So one more opportunity for a Matt McMahon squad. By the way, here's what Matt McMahon had to say after the win over Winthrop.
If you enjoy offense, three-point shooting, and a lot of points, it's a good game to watch. I think on our offensive end, clearly our most efficient performance there on the season. The second half, I thought we played the game the right way offensively. Ball moved side to side, a lot of great screens. We had 13 assists on our 21 baskets and shot 68% from the floor. And then finally, in those last 7 minutes, we were able to get, maybe 1 or 2 stops. There weren't many stops in the game, but in that last 7 or 8 minutes, we were able to get enough to get the win. But overall, I thought a great team win, fun game to watch.
We have seen pretty consistently with this LSU team, to their credit, when they're in tight games late, they find a way to make plays in those final 3 or 4 minutes to win games. And they did it again on Saturday against Winthrop. So, again, they'll play a Wednesday against East Tennessee State, and that's it. That's the last non-conference tune-up before 10th-ranked Arkansas comes to the Maravich Center after Christmas on the 28th. So, and as we've talked about, 6 of your first 8 games, or is it 4 of the first 6? Hang on. It's 4 of your first 6 are against ranked opponents. Arkansas, Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Arkansas. No, so it is 6 of your first 8 conference games are against ranked opponents. So the meat grinder is coming. How you're about to see just how much this team has grown and developed together since, obviously, since the start of this season. But this league is unforgiving when you look at the schedule and how good these teams are. The league had a bumpy Saturday. I mean, you had some big opportunities. Bama lost at home to Gonzaga. You saw Kentucky lose. You saw Tennessee lose. But and some pretty marquee non-conference games. Tennessee went out to Arizona and played. But it's not going to be easy for Matt McMahon's squad. The solace I'll give you is understand it. While it's going to be difficult early in conference play for this basketball team, the schedule lightens up considerably in your last 7. So, take your lumps, learn from it, grow from it, and be ready to roll for that stretch play in conference play, because that's when you're going to have your opportunity to maybe punch a ticket to the postseason. All right, we'll go around the SEC in a second. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. For the Williamson Eye Center, 7 locations all around South Louisiana, including the newest location in the river parishes there in Lutcher. But, of course, the primary location inside the Baton Rouge General Campus right there. If you turn off of Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you come up to the stop sign, you look to the right, that building right there, the second floor, that's the Williamson Eye Center. That's their state-of-the-art dry eye center. That's their surgery center. You can give LASIK as a gift. They have gift cards available. So you want to give LASIK to that person on your list this holiday season, this Christmas. Hanukkah starts today. One of the 8 crazy nights. Give someone LASIK. The Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas has officially hired UCF's Travis Williams as their new defensive coordinator. Williams was the DC at UCF the last 2 seasons, and prior to that was co-DC at Auburn. Williams is from Columbia, South Carolina, and played collegiately at Auburn, so a lot of SEC ties. He had briefly taken the linebackers coach job at Miami in 2021 before Gus Malzahn hired him at UCF, where he's been the last 2 years.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee football landed Texas transfer Andrej Karic to fill an immediate need at right tackle. 6'5", 306-pounder. Played 26 games, but just 2 starts over 3 seasons with the Longhorns. He still has 3 seasons of eligibility remaining because of the COVID year. Karic is from Carroll, Texas. He was a 4-star prospect in the 2020 class.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Former Ohio State defensive back Jansen Dunn is transferring to Kentucky. He's from the state of Kentucky. He was a top 10 safety in the transfer portal. He also considered Florida State, Arkansas, Cincinnati, Purdue, Louisville, Western Kentucky, some other big-time offers. Wildcats are going to play the 6'2", 180-pounder at cornerback, even though he has previously played safety. He was a 4-star safety when he was coming out of high school, the number 172 overall player in the country. 11 Kentucky players have entered the portal. This is the 5th that have committed to the Wildcats.
The Auburn Tigers.
Rivaldo Fairweather is transferring from Florida International to Auburn. He's a 6'5", 210-pound receiver. 3 seasons with the Golden Panthers, he averaged about 2 catches a game. Former 3-star recruit from the state of Florida, gives Hugh Freeze a big body on the outside. Tigers brought in 3 players to their 2023 class this weekend, along with Fairweather, 2 in-state safety Sylvester Smith and Arkansas flip Steven Johnson.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And South Carolina's added a few transfers as well. Newberry running back Mario Anderson will play at South Carolina, committing to the Gamecocks over the weekend. Played in 29 games, rushed for over 3,300 yards in his career there at Newberry. He's got 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. And then Yale transfer offensive lineman Nick Gargiulio has committed to South Carolina. 6'5", 290-pounder. Was the starting center. Spent the last 5 seasons at Yale, but has eligibility remaining. At Yale, his coach was Tony Reno. He's the father of South Carolina quarterback commit Dante Reno. So a lot of connections there as well. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends Gulf Coast Office Products. Online, GCOPnet.com, GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products, a national leader among Savin dealers. But they will service all makes and models. If you need copiers, printers, all-in-ones, all of that office equipment, they've got it at Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com. In about 15 minutes, y'all, I want to talk about Aaron Anderson, former 5-star wide receiver who has played his freshman season in Alabama, has committed to LSU over the weekend. I want to talk about the significance of that in about 15 minutes from right now. And could the Saints be in line for a reunion with Teddy Bridgewater? That's coming up in 30 minutes from right now. So a ton to do. Glad you're here. Let's knock out our final break of hour number 1. When we come back, some significant news out of the Pac-12 this weekend that does directly impact LSU football. I'll tell you what next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. All right, it is Christmas week, y'all. Christmas, of course, is on Sunday. So if you're looking for that last-minute gift idea, get by Clegg's. Clegg's gift cards are a great option for the green thumb or the do-it-yourself. Remember, not only does Clegg's have the largest selection of all your flowers and plants and trees and shrubs and everything you would need if you're a green thumb, if you're a gardener, you're a do-it-yourselfer at home, because they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store, they also have so much that any do-it-yourselfer would want for themselves. So get a Clegg's Nursery gift card. Any of their 4 locations. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Any of the 4 locations. Yes, they've still got some trees. They've got Christmas decor as well, which is discounted now. So even if you're not going to put it up this week, buy it now at a discount. Save it for next year. It's all at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local for more than 60 years. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Over the weekend, Oregon got some good and certainly unexpected news as well. Oregon football tweeted a video of Bo Nix with the phrase "Bo is back." So Bo Nix, of course, who started his career at Auburn where he was a legacy, transferred this season to Oregon and will take advantage of the extra year of eligibility due to the COVID year and return there to Eugene to play one final season. And, I mean, Bo Nix he sort of transformed himself this year. And after the season opening loss to Georgia, played really good football. And he will enter next season as a Heisman candidate. And Oregon will likely enter next season as a preseason playoff I don't want to say candidate, but a team that's many are going to project to make the playoff next year. So USC sniffed it and then came up just short, obviously losing out in the Pac-12 championship game. But Oregon with Bo Nix back is huge. But the collateral damage there is that Dante Moore flipped from Oregon to UCLA. And the reason this is significant and relevant to LSU is, remember, first of all, LSU had been recruiting Dante Moore. He's a highly regarded quarterback from Detroit. He's the number 3 player in the class of 2023 on ESPN. I guess you look at depending on what organization you subscribe to, but one of the highest rated players for the class of 2023. And he had been committed to Oregon. LSU had a hat on the table, but ultimately, with Bo Nix coming back, Dante Moore is now flipping to UCLA. And the reason that's relevant, of course, is because UCLA comes to Baton Rouge in 2024 for a regular season matchup. So it is very likely that Dante Moore, a one-time LSU target, is going to be the starting quarterback for UCLA when they come to LSU in 2 years. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, as we know, played his 6th season this year. They're in Westwood under Chip Kelly. That's a program that had really fallen on hard times, and Chip Kelly has sort of brought them back these last 2 seasons, going 17-7 combined the last 2 years. But Dante Moore said, look, he liked the offense. He liked watching Chip Kelly's teams at Oregon, liked his ties to the NFL, where he'd been a 2-time head coach, both in Philly and in San Francisco. He said that Dante Moore said Bo Nix's decision to return did not factor into his decision, but it's hard to imagine that being realistic, where you're talking about one of the most highly regarded prospects in the country who very likely would have been had the opportunity to go compete to be the starter at Oregon from jump, and now flips to UCLA, where their 6th-year senior quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson is graduating and out of eligibility, and he presumably will step right in. So when LSU hosts UCLA in 2024, September 1st, 2024, it is very likely that you're going to see Dante Moore as the starting quarterback for the Bruins in that game in Baton Rouge. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. Love telling you about GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. A home buy, refi, construction loans, they do it all at GMFS Mortgage. Last week, the Fed ticked up interest rates by another 0.5 point. You didn't see it. But maybe the bigger news is that the Fed is projecting you won't see those historic low rates again until 2024 or maybe 2025. Are you really going to put off buying that new home for another 2+ years? The better path could be buy that home now, lock in before rates go higher, and then refi when you see rates dip. Most importantly, have that conversation with a local loan officer, someone that deals with these situations every single day. That's GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. I tell you all the time, you can email us, tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Buy Forward YouTube chat or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Richard Talley texted and said, Matt, the men's basketball team will start better than everyone thinks. Go Tigers, 20-win season. Okay. Muse, you disagree, judging by the way you are feverishly shaking your head.
Yeah, that they're not winning 20 games.
They're at 10.
Yeah, they're not winning 20 games.
Are you including postseason?
No, I wasn't including postseason, but I still don't even think postseason. I don't think they do. I think they maybe get to 7 wins in conference. Maybe. Probably more likely they're around 6.
I've said 500 in conference would be a huge success. You play 18 conference games, so they get to 9-9 in conference. That would be a massive win. I projected them before the season. For whatever that's worth, I'm saying, like, everyone gives a prediction, right? Whatever. I think they'll go 8-10 in conference. Is where I think they'll land. They're at 10-1. I do think that they will beat East Tennessee State to get to 11. 8 conference wins would put them at 19. So if they do get to 500 in conference play, then they would get to 20 wins. Boy, that is a really big ask. The more I've seen this team, the more I think getting to 8 in conference play is even a stretch. But it's all going to depend on how they finish because they have 7 winnable games down the stretch. All right, hour number 1 in the books. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, LSU lands a big transfer over the weekend. We're talking about it next.
AFR.
Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. Listen, we live in South Louisiana, or even if you're in North Louisiana, you understand. It rains. There's a lot of humidity. In many instances, you can create situations where mold becomes a factor. And when mold is spotted, too often, we go in and we cut sheetrock and we're pulling things out of the attic, and you don't have to do that. Mold Zero is a better solution. Mold-0usa.com. You can always get a free estimate, but Mold Zero is a patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. Come in, they fog your home, fog your office, room, whatever it is. You let it dwell for about 45 minutes or so. As soon as the fog dissipates, which usually takes about a couple hours, depending on the size of the building, you are free and clear to go safely back into your mold-free building. It's Mold Zero. Mold-0usa.com.
I'm Sylvia Weatherspoon in the WBRZ studios. Here is a preview of some of the stories we're working on for News 2. A brazen display of stunt driving shut down I-10 in Baton Rouge this weekend. We're getting answers tonight from officials about their plans to crack down on these dangerous and deadly displays. Baton Rouge prepares to say farewell to a fire captain who died on the job. We'll take you to a procession held today in his honor. And a bizarre search for a booze bandit on the west side. More tonight on WBRZ.
Winter can be magical. The Mercedes-Benz winter event is here, and there's no better time to check out our new Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge inventory. We have the vehicles that can make your holiday extraordinary. See all the latest technological features on the newest models during our Mercedes-Benz winter event. Shop our best of the best award-winning dealership. Visit mbobr.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal. supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana Loyal. Always.
Go next year, we should start paying attention to teams that are actually worth paying attention to. At least Belichick has been able to keep the Patriots in the playoff conversation. That's not even the case for Tampa Bay.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomblay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Could Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints be in line for a reunion? I want to talk about that in about 15 minutes. Why it's not a crazy idea. Saints are between a rock and a hard place. By the way, Pells are back on the floor tonight. We always appreciate our P1 listener, Todd Graffinini, a.k.a. Graff, who texted during my Saints segment in hour 1. Wow, would have picked me up. Now I want to jump in front of a streetcar in St. Charles. Which, by the way, is kind of a fitting metaphor for this Saints season, isn't it? Like, please tell me, what is the thing about this Saints season for which I should have so much joy? They swept the Falcons?
I was about to say they beat Atlanta twice. That's pretty cool. Dirty Birds. As bad as the Saints are, they're still better than Atlanta.
Paulie,
there you go.
You of New Orleans Saints Fleur-de-Lis on the back glass of your truck, your lowrider. What? You're as diehard a Saints fan as I am. So you tell me, what has brought you joy in this Saints season here, Paulie?
We had one shutout.
Yeah, but that.
They shut out the Raiders.
Positive Monday. Let's get it. What else we got, fellas?
Chris Olave, been pretty awesome as a rookie.
And then you realize what you gave up to get Chris Olave,
well,
and it doesn't
you don't
seem.
Think about
yes,
that.
You have to think about that because that will forever be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
We found our deep threat, Rashid Shaheed.
There it is.
And you know what? You didn't have to use a top 15 pick in multiple trades to get him, didn't you?
How about that?
Stunning.
Alontae Taylor, huh? Been pretty good. Yeah. All right.
I mean, Alontae Taylor's been okay.
He's been pretty good.
He's also been hurt a lot. And, I mean, I do like him.
Okay.
But you know what? Last year I liked Paulson Adebo.
Yeah.
I don't really like him much right now.
No, it hadn't been great.
He had a brutal PI yesterday.
Caden Ellis?
Do you understand the point here with the exercise? Like, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me to get jacked up because an undrafted linebacker and an undrafted receiver have looked pretty good this year. Yeah, they have. And you know what? You're 5-8. 5-9, excuse me. 5-8? 5-9.
5-9.
You know what's throwing me off? Like, this is really throwing me off.
17 games?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I should be programmed already or reprogrammed. I'm not yet. I'm still not. Like, I have to do, like, forever, you just knew the win-loss records, right, of a 16-game season, and I'm not programmed anymore. Like, I still have to remind myself. Sorry, 5-9. Tampa 6-8. God, if the Saints had
Please don't.
Just not blown a 2-score lead with 3 minutes left. You're in first place today.
Yeah.
And you know what I hear? And someone just sent me this a bit ago via the text line. Yeah, but they would have gone. It was, who was this guy? It was Bernard. Not sure I want to see the Saints make the playoffs to get destroyed by Dallas. Of course you want to see the Saints make the playoffs. By the way, do you not realize if you win the division, you get a home game? You get a game in the Dome. We have seen these teams that have a losing record make the playoffs and win a playoff game. The Saints went to Seattle and played a 7-9 Seattle team that beat them. Carolina at 7-8-1, won the division in 2014, won a playoff game. Washington in the COVID year was sub 500, won their awful NFC East, hosted Tom Brady in Tampa and had them on the ropes. Yes, give me a playoff game. Give me a division title. I don't care if you're at sub 500, I want to win. That's the point. It's the NFL, man. And I certainly trust Dallas to grab the throat. They always do it. Give me a home playoff game. Yeah, I want it. So, yes, I want the Saints to win out and make the playoffs. Of course I do. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to lose this week at Cleveland, but we'll talk about that as we get closer. All right, it's after further review. We'll talk about the potential Teddy B reunion coming up here shortly. LSU did get some phenomenal news this weekend. It was not altogether unexpected, but still to solidify it is big. For weeks now, I kind of told you what I had been hearing were the targets in the portal for LSU. They were going to add veteran depth on the offensive line. They certainly needed to address the defensive line. Corner is going to end up being a must. Tight end. And they wanted to add a speedy wide receiver. They wanted to add a blow the top off the defense wide receiver. Well, they got him this weekend. Aaron Anderson committed to LSU again. From Edna Carr, he was a 5-star receiver in the class of 2022. He was a one-time LSU commit who decommitted when Ed Orgeron got fired, ultimately signed with Bama, played there this year, was injured, only played in one game against Austin Peay, entered the portal, and now he's heading home as Aaron Anderson is going to be an LSU Tiger. As a refresher, he was this was from On 3. As a recruit, he was a consensus 4-star, although some outlets had him as a 5-star. He was the 36th best prospect in the country, the 4th best wide receiver in America, the 2nd best player in Louisiana. So he is a speedster, blow the top off, game-breaking deep threat from the class of 2022. He committed to LSU in December of 2020, and then when Ed Orgeron got fired, he decommitted immediately after. So October of 21, he decommitted right when Ed got fired, and then would ultimately sign with Alabama and just didn't make an impact. As we mentioned, injuries cost him a lot of this year, and he ended up playing in just one game. But when you look at LSU's receiver group now, not only the impact Anderson will have in 2023, but also in 2024, this becomes significant. Here's what I mean. Of course, Jeray Jenkins is going pro. Jack Besh is transferred to TCU. But Kayshawn's coming back. So when you look at the receiver depth for 2023, you got Kayshawn, Malik Neighbors, who led you, was your leading receiver this year. Brian Thomas is back. Kyron Lacey is back. Chris Hilton's coming off of injury. And Landon Ibieta redshirted this year. So that's 6. You have 6 returning scholarship players. You're bringing in 5-star Shelton Sampson, 5-star Jaylen Brown, Kyle Parker, and Kai Preon. So that's 10. Anderson makes 11. But if you're looking at skill set, that's really the conversation we're having. Jeray Jenkins became your big home run hitter this year, although a guy like Anderson, who's not as big as Jure, certainly has better speed than Jure. Anderson's listed at 5'8.5", 185. He's a smaller guy, but he can fly. So when you look at 23, he's the guy that's your deep threat, stretch the field, blow the top off, big play guy. But for 2024, which would be Anderson's junior year, is really what you have to target. Because after 23, you're losing Kayshawn, who will be out of eligibility. I guess he could play another year if he wanted to. He could play a fifth season because of the COVID year, but let's not get greedy. You're likely going to lose Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, and then Kyron Lacey could return for another year if he wanted, but chances are you're going to lose those four guys. Kayshawn, Malik, Brian Thomas, Kyron Lacey. You're going to lose those four after next season. And then what about transfers as well? Guys that maybe don't play, don't see the field, do they leave? So you could see your scholarship receivers number cut in half after 2023. So Aaron Anderson could serve a vital role for this team in 2023 as a game breaker, but he's a guy that potentially could be your dude in 2024, setting the stage for him to jump into the pros after his third year in college. So a massive win for LSU and something they needed. And listen, Brian Kelly has said this so many times. He has said, I think he said it again this weekend, where they are looking for guys from the state of Louisiana. If they can go into the transfer portal and bring in guys from the state, it's always going to be preferred. And this is another example of doing just that. Now, as far as the numbers, Brian Kelly, this is number 11, if we could, from Saturday Music, where he talked about the numbers that he's looking for this class.
I mean, it's going to be in the mid to high 30s. So I think within a calendar year, we could be close to turning over 70 scholarships.
That's incredible. You have 85. And in one calendar year, you're talking about turning over 70 scholarships. He had to remake this whole thing, but that number that he's talking about makes sense. And when you look at what they've done already in this class, they've got 25 commits and the one transfer in Aaron Anderson, who's the transfer commit. So you've got 25 high school commitments already, led by guys like Lance Hurd, Shelton Sampson, Deshaun Womack. Those are your 5-stars. Toviano, who committed last week. Jaylen Brown, depending on the service you look at, 5-star. So you got 25 high school commitments already. Aaron Anderson becomes your one guy in the transfer portal right now, which puts you at 26. Brian Kelly said mid-upper 30s. You're going to add 10 more players. I think you're going to add 5 or 6 transfers, and then you're going to look at those premier high school guys that they may be able to add as well, like, for example, a 5-star corner in Desmond Ricks, who may very well jump aboard with the early signing period this week getting started. So significant because it was a known target, an obvious target for this staff, and they got probably the best guy in the country that would have been available to fill that role. And he's from Louisiana, so checks a ton of boxes. Aaron Anderson, picking LSU, coming home to play for the Tigers. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Let me knock out a break. Could the Saints be in line for a reunion with Teddy Bridgewater? Why it's not an awful idea. I'm going to talk about that next. Stay AFR.
AFR.
Monday, which means all-you-can-eat wings at Pluckers. That's right. That's today and every Monday, all-you-can-eat wings at Pluckers. Either location, Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Now, I want to remind you, you can't deliver all-you-can-eat wings. Okay, they're not just going to keep bringing them to you over and over again, right? But if you dine in, you can get all-you-can-eat wings tonight and every Monday. That's at Pluckers. You got Monday Night Football tonight. Rams at Packers while you watch a game being played on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Enjoy the warmth of Pluckers while you dine on award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Not only do you have Rams Packers, you also got Giannis and the Bucks in New Orleans to take on the Pells tonight. Watch it all at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. All-you-can-eat wings tonight and every Monday. And Pluckers gift cards are great for that gift exchange at the office, or stocking stuffers, it's Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the Bears.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime. Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Muse.
Yo.
You got a play on this Marshall-UConn game? 28-7, the Thundering Herd with a minute 56 to go in the third.
Regrettably, I do.
Oh, you had UConn? What was the line on this one?
12.5.
Lane 12.5?
No.
Okay.
Catching the 12.5.
You ain't dead.
Yeah, it's pretty dead, man. I mean, not mathematically, sure, but I'm not counting on anything anymore.
The Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Yeah.
They're playing this at Coastal Carolina's field.
Yeah, which is actually in Conway, South Carolina, not Myrtle Beach.
I don't get it. Why are they doing that?
Yeah, it's a great, I don't know. We're not going to get caught up in semantics. It's bowl season. We're just happy to have a lot of football on, right? You know.
Well, it technically wouldn't be semantics. That would just be details.
That's fair.
But
Conway is close to Myrtle Beach. But
is it?
Yes,
Okay.
it is very close.
Okay. No bowl games tonight?
No.
I did get a text into the show. Remember, you can always text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Who was it asked? Someone asked if Otter had given. Here it is, from Sam Smith, who said, has Otter given out a pick yet for the game tonight? No, he has not. So we will get Otter locks at the end of the show today, see what the Otter likes tonight on Monday Night Football. I need to get the final tally for yesterday for Ott and all of his handicappers for Magnolia Bluff Football Sunday, but The early slate of games was looking dreadful, and then you had this slew of late rallies. So like Chicago's late score, Detroit against the Jets was one. There were like 3 or 4 that just went boom, 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 all in the final 2 minutes, and they all hit. So it was a good day. I encourage you all the time. Y'all really need to listen to Ott. If you're doing the sports betting thing, he gets handicappers that come on and these professional sports bettors that give you their best plays, and they hit at a pretty incredible rate. So if you are looking to bet, of course, I always encourage you, use the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I should probably wait till later to say this, but DraftKings. What's going on here? You haven't looked at this. You haven't looked at this all day. Oh, because they just scored.
They just scored a touchdown.
Did you know it was coming?
I did. The ESPN app updated a little early there.
Got it.
Ahead of the
I'm
TV.
like, Musso in an hour and 20 minutes sitting in here has not taken one glance at that TV to look at this game. Not one.
And nothing was worth watching.
And I'm going into the DraftKings live read, and I can't get him to look at me at all because there's a disclaimer he has to play. And I think it's a new disclaimer this week, though. So I don't think you
all right.
play that one. But because it's the one we recorded last week, which is pretty stinking cool. Here it is. This does start today, yes?
I mean, I don't have the copy in front of me. I assume, yeah.
Okay. DraftKings. The DraftKings Sportsbook has a special gift for Louisiana NBA fans. For a limited time, you can get a no-sweat bet on every Pelicans game this December. How about this? So go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. You got to opt in under the promos tab. Place an eligible bet of your choice on a Pelicans game. If it doesn't hit, they'll give you your money back in a free bet. How about that? No sweat bet and it says for every Pelicans game this December. So it's not like just use it one time. It's for every game for the Pels. That's pretty incredible. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. When you opt in, use the promo code Baton Rouge. One word, use the promo code Baton Rouge and get a no sweat bet on every Pelicans game this December. Oh, that's so good. Anyway, DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Muse, here's the disclaimer that you can record for whenever I have to use this for the rest of the week of the month. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana, select parishes, only max renewed bets. Nope, hang on. 21 and older, physically, this is how we have to do it several times, right, after the show. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana, select parishes only, max reward limits apply. One free bet issued based on amount of initial losing bet. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. Let's go around the SEC. Not really. We already did that last time.
Well, I was about to say, wait,
we did that last time.
No.
I feel like normally that's when I transition from a DraftKings read, usually.
Okay, yeah.
Does that sound right?
Normally just a live read in general. Maybe not specifically DraftKings, but
okay.
Yeah.
How would you feel if the Saints brought back Teddy Bridgewater? I bring this up because Bill Barnwell over at ESPN.com has a feature up right now, and it's essentially every quarterback needy team in the NFL and what their situation is like, basically. So right now, this is what the Saints are looking at. Of course, Andy Dalton's the starter. They just beat Atlanta, and Dalton had a nice day. 11 of 17 for 151 and 2 scores. Didn't set the world on fire, but a nice day. Dalton is a free agent after this season. And the Saints are most certainly going to cut Jameis Winston. Can we all agree on that? Like, they've made it to this point in the season. Jameis has not regained his starting job. They would owe him some $15 million next year. They're going to cut him, and he'd be owed $12.8 million next season. by cutting him, they'll save about $4.5 million against the cap. So I think we can all agree they're going to cut Jameis Winston, right? If they had any intention of retaining him and seeing what they thought might be there, they would be playing him right now. They're not going to. I think we're all there. So if you're going to cut Jameis, Dalton's a free agent. Taysom Hill is still under contract, but the Taysom Hill as a franchise quarterback ship also has sailed. So now you look at, okay, you don't have a top draft pick, so you're not, you trade it away. Otherwise, you'd be picking likely in the top 5, top 10 somewhere, and you'd have an opportunity to get one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. You're not going to have that option this year. So you start to look at the class of free agents. There's Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Jimmy Garoppolo, Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, look, follow the list with me, Paul. If you want to pull this up, you can. I mean, here's the list of free agents. I mean, this is your list of free agent quarterbacks. So if you're the Saints and you're picking a free agent, Brady, Baker, Darnold, Jimmy G, Teddy B, Daniel Jones, who it seems like will probably be back in New York now, Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph, Jacoby Brissett, Geno Smith, Joe Flacco, the aforementioned Andy Dalton, Mike White with the Jets, C.J. Beathard, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, Lamar Jackson, Blaine Gabbert. That's the name I was trying to remember last week, the long-haired quarterback from Missouri. Chase Daniel, Chad Henne, Nick Mullins, Drew Lock, Brandon Allen, Josh Johnson, Nate Sudfeld, Nathan Peterman, Cooper Rush. Make it happen. Brett Rippon, Tyler Huntley, John Wolford, Phillip Walker, Trace McSorley, Jared Stidham, Bryce Perkins, Easton Stick, Garner Minshew, and Shane Buechele. That's your crop of free agent quarterbacks for this season. Pipe dream, maybe Baltimore decides to let a former MVP walk and you sign Lamar Jackson and you make the money work however you structure it in a long-term deal, whatever. Some may say, well, what about Jimmy G? Jimmy Garoppolo and Teddy Bridgewater are the same player. Do you realize this? If you're like, I did this exercise today and looked at them side by side. They're the same guy. Jimmy G has played in 74 games. Teddy Bridgewater has played in 77 games. Jimmy Garoppolo has thrown for 14,000 yards. Teddy Bridgewater has thrown for 14,900 yards. Jimmy G, 87 touchdowns. Teddy, 74. Jimmy G, 42 picks. Teddy, 46. They are the same freaking guy. They're the same guy. Yes, Garoppolo has had more team success in San Francisco. He's also played for a really good team with great defenses, well coached, good skill around him, all that sort of stuff. So situation matters. It's the same guy. So if you're the Saints, you're looking at this offseason like, okay, I still maintain that you've got to draft a quarterback. And I'm guessing you probably agree with me on that. And I know the majority of Saints fans, we have these conversations. It's, hey, do you think Hendon Hooker would be available at the top of round 2? I think so, and I hope so. If you're like, I'm a Hendon Hooker fan. I like the fact that he came back to school. I like that he's mature. I love the touch and accuracy he has on the deep ball. I think he was the best player in college football this year and should have won the Heisman Trophy, but voters are cowards and they basically abide by these stupid unwritten rules where it's like, if you get hurt and don't play the last game, then you're out, which is stupid, but that's how it is. In any event, if Hendon Hooker's there at the top of round 2 whenever the Saints pick and they take him, I'd be over the moon. I also don't want to go into next season with only Hendon Hooker or whomever you draft as your option at quarterback. You'd love to have the opportunity to have that guy compete with a veteran, and if the rookie wins it, awesome. And if not, you've got a veteran who's played a lot of football, and you can bring the rookie along slowly. Essentially what Atlanta did this year. Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder. That's the example. Like, that's the analogy. Veteran who's been around, started before, won some games, lost some games, never going to be a franchise quarterback again. Young guy who you're hoping develops, and you hit the way Seattle hit on Russ in round 3, Kirk Cousins in round 4, Dak in round 4. You know the list by now. That's the hope. Jalen Hurts in round 2. That's the hope. And so the Saints are going to have to bring in a veteran to go along with whoever the rookie is that they bring in this year, that they draft, because I'm assuming they will. Do you want Andy Dalton back? I mean, you could look at Andy and say, well, at least he's got experience in this organization, in this system, with these coaches, and maybe that's the answer that they'll arrive at. It most certainly isn't going to be Jameis. I think we know that by now. They're going to cut him, they're going to save the money, and they'll move on. But the question is, would you rather 35 going to 36-year-old Andy Dalton or 30-year-old Teddy Bridgewater, who was such a core part of the Saints in 2018 and then 2019 when Breeze got hurt, was beloved, the whole bike life dance, personality notwithstanding, which is fantastic. I mean, he's such a likable guy and has been his whole career. As a quarterback, he's probably a better option in that he is younger than Andy Dalton, but will deliver essentially the same thing. So maybe it's just sort of a mixed bag, a hodgepodge of the same style of average. If you're talking about 35-year-old Andy Dalton, 30-year-old Teddy Bridgewater, 31-year-old Jimmy G, whatever it may be, like you're talking about basically the same guy, a guy that's played a lot of football, is never going to be a top 10 quarterback or franchise quarterback, but could be a good stopgap or bridge to the younger guy. And that's probably the Saints' best option, unless they decide we're going to go all in and make Lamar Jackson an offer he can't refuse to come be our franchise quarterback. And I don't know that the Saints have arrived at that decision. What I do know is a year ago, boy, they took a really heavy swing at Deshaun Watson. Right? They entered into those sweepstakes. So they were on the list for Russ. Like, they have been in these conversations to land a franchise quarterback, and the only one on the list of free agents this year that would actually qualify is a guy in Lamar Jackson that's been an MVP. But if Lamar ends up staying in Baltimore, then your options are you bring in a veteran as a bridge to whoever it is that you draft this year, likely in round 2. And if you gave me my options, I would take Teddy Bridgewater. I would take Teddy Bridgewater over Andy Dalton, over Jimmy Garoppolo, over any list, anybody on that list we just read off to you. But what's clear is the Saints' future, their franchise is not on the roster now. We all know that. And the sincere hope is you get it in the draft. And if you do, then your path back to competing is accelerated. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. In ultimately missing on Carson Wentz and eating $40-some-odd million of dead money that could have crippled that organization. But what saved them is they hit a home run in the second round with Jalen Hurts. That's the Saints' path. We've talked about the young guys, Rashid Shaheed, Caden Ellis. You're looking at these young guys on Juwan Johnson, on undrafted rookie free agent deals. They're inherently affordable, which helps your cap situation. Now you got to have it at quarterback as well. But who do you have to bridge the gap? I'd say I'd take Teddy B over any of the others on the list that we discussed. I would say you. Let me know. Email me, tweet me at Matt Moscona, jump in the Bayou YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. You can always text us as well on the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Of course, you can always watch us on WBTR. We appreciate all of you who have found us on WBTR. Cable 19, Rev 144, and 36.1 if you're a cord cutter on the antenna. We appreciate our friends at WBRZ for giving us that opportunity every day. And for all of you watching on YouTube, thank you for being there as well. Do us a favor. Please smash that like button if you would, if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe up to the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. All right, it's after further review. We did find out Jack Besh's destination this weekend. He will be a TCU Horned Frog. A little bit on the situation Jack Besh is going into when we come back next. Tigers and the Pros in about 15 minutes. Our college football and really football takeaways to kick off hour number 3. Man, we got a ton to do. Glad you're hanging out here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows.
AFR.
It's Christmas week. It is a great time with the kids off of school to go experience the thing that I've been telling you about for several weeks now. It's the holiday lights at the Baton Rouge General. Got a meeting at the General tomorrow. Looking forward to getting over there and seeing the holiday lights as well. But go see them tonight when it's all lit up. brgeneral.org. If you go to brgeneral.org and look right on the homepage, you'll see the holiday lights tab right there on the homepage, and you can get all the info about where you go, where you park, where you walk, all the particulars that you need to know. But mostly, it's just a really cool thing this time of year to be able to experience with your family. Bring the kids out there. It's a winter wonderland. The lights are all dancing to music and stuff like that. It's a great way to go experience the holidays. Man, get you some hot cocoa or a coffee or something like that and go walk through the holiday lights at the Baton Rouge General Hospital at their Bluebonnet campus. brgeneral.org. brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Thank you, Acadiana, for over 55 years of allowing Corval Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From the Corval Toyota family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit.
Let's go, defense!
We get it done with passion for our fans
And love for our community.
We are the Tigers. Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, glad to have you rolling along with us here. Final week for your boy of the year. I'm going to take off next week. So we'll be with you this week. And then we did confirm T-Bob and I are going to do whiskey and wine for the bowl game. So the folks over at Don Juan wanted us to do it, and we're down for it. So that's going to be 2 weeks from today. Hard to believe, right? I mean, the bowl game is 2 weeks from today. So next week, we're all off in celebration of Christmas Day because Christmas is on a Sunday. So all of the shows are off next Monday. but I'll be off all of next week, and then the following Monday, the 2nd, is the day of the game. So we'll have a game day. Or y'all are doing Eagle game day.
Yep.
You'll do it both at Rouse's. Is that right?
I've not confirmed Rouse's. The last time I heard it was going to be at Rouse's, but I don't want to say for sure there.
I'm almost certain pregame will be.
Yes, pregame is what we were talking about doing there. Yes,
for sure.
8 o'clock.
So pregame will be at Rouse's on Burbank for the bowl game, January 2nd. Not sure about postgame. We'll see if we can get that confirmed from Hanny. But we will. But T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan for Whiskey and Wine. So if you want to come watch the bowl game with us, they're going to open early. So come watch the bowl game with us. Hang out. Got the day off on Monday the 2nd. Just make plans. Just be aware. We'll be there for Whiskey and Wine for LSU and Purdue. Hopefully this will be a much more fun bowl game viewing experience and just post game as well than a year ago, because that sucked. Watching LSU get absolutely run by Kansas State because you had a receiver playing quarterback, and then you had all these moron Kansas State fans feeling like they actually accomplished something. No, you didn't, loser. You beat a team with 39 scholarship players. You beat the JV. Would have loved to play them in the Sugar Bowl. God, that would have been so much fun. Didn't blow it against A&M. All right, anyway, not going to keep going down that path. Jack Besh announced his transfer destination, as he said on Twitter. I guess that purple didn't want to leave me just yet. Time to rock. Jack Besh committed to TCU. So he will be a Horned Frog. He's heading up to Fort Worth. Didn't take Jack long to find a landing spot, and no doubt he'll do really well there. Listen, it was a very obvious thing that a lot of you all, I think, have assumed, but Jack Besh and Walker Howard are best friends and wanted to play together, and Jack wanted to catch passes from Walker, and Walker wanted to throw passes to Jack, and Jack had a great freshman season when he exploded after Kayshawn's injury and led LSU in receiving, and injuries of his own this year cost him an opportunity early with a new staff who who played no favorites, and he just got passed. He had the shin injury and a concussion in fall camp. It cost him a lot of time before he could get back on the field. When he did, there were obviously some missteps. The muff on the opening kickoff against Tennessee comes to mind, certainly. But Jack Besh is a great player, man. He's a great college football player. I mean, he stepped in the SEC as a true freshman and led LSU in receptions and receiving yards with 43 for 489 and 3 scores. And we had hoped and expected he would build upon that this year, but injuries knocked him down the depth chart, and he never quite climbed out of it. And then with Kayshawn coming back this year and the class of receivers they're adding with Shelton Sampson, now you're adding Aaron Anderson, a former 5-star via the portal. It's understandable why he's going to go somewhere. And when you look at TCU in particular, you all know Max Duggan, the quarterback at TCU, has declared for the draft. So Max Duggan's going to play in the college football playoff and then go pro afterwards. You had a quarterback that threw for 3,300 yards, and Sonny Dykes runs a pretty wide-open system. Chandler Morris is the freshman quarterback who backed up Max Duggan this year, who's likely going to be the guy moving forward. But this is why it makes the most sense for Jack to end up at TCU. When you look at the top 6 receivers for TCU this year, 3 of them are seniors, 2 of them are juniors, and 1's a freshman. Quentin Johnson, their leading receiver, he's a junior who may very well declare for the draft. Hasn't yet, but may. Tay Barber and Darius Davis, their second and third leading receivers, are seniors. Savion Williams was the 4th leading receiver. He's a junior. And then Gunnar Henderson is a senior. So 3 of the top 5 receivers are seniors, and 1 of the juniors may declare for the draft. So Jack Besh is going to walk into a situation where at least 3, maybe 4 of the top 5 receivers at TCU, a playoff team that slings it around, are gone. I mean, he's going to step in immediately and have a chance to be the best receiver on that team. Not that dissimilar from Trey Palmer at Nebraska or Coy Moore going to Auburn. It was hard to find your way through a crowded depth chart at LSU, but when you're that talented, you go to a place where you're just the best guy. I know it's odd, but it's just the way that LSU is recruited at that position. It's the way this state has developed talent at that position, and I don't see that slowing anytime soon. It's probably, as much as it sucks because we'd love to see Jack back here and you'd love to see that connection with he and Walker Howard, I understand it completely. I understand completely why he decided now to pull the ripcord and why he's landing at TCU, because he is going to get a ton of targets in Fort Worth, where any target in Baton Rouge next year will be hard to come by, considering how crowded that room has gotten. So Jack Besh headed to TCU. Wish him all the luck in the world. No doubt he's going to do really well. Just you pull for the Louisiana guys and wherever they go. And Jack's been a fan favorite and a crowd favorite, and no doubt will do really well at TCU. All right, we're brought to you by Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. If you're hitting the road, my parents actually are leaving tomorrow to go to Kansas. My sister lives in Kansas, she and her husband and their kiddos. So my parents are going to go do Christmas in Kansas. They're driving there, leaving tomorrow. You better believe Pops is a big old Shaw Bills fan. So take the thing to Shaw Bills, get those tires rotated, get the oil changed, check engine light if that pops on. If the brakes are squeaking, rattling, noises, you're not sure what to do with your vehicle, you can trust Shaw Bills. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name-brand tires at wholesale prices for more than 50 years. Shaw Bills has been helping out the people of Louisiana with whatever may be going on with your vehicle. Of course, you can buy tires, name-brand tires at wholesale prices. Go to the promotions tab, and you'll see them all right there, like the 25 days of Christmas savings. And with every tire purchase, they extend the Charlie's Dozen, which is the best service options, complimentary to every vehicle in the family, not just the one that you bought the tires for. That's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. All right, Muse is going to have Tigers and the Pros coming up. We'll get to our football weekend takeaways in about 15 minutes from right now. Judging by the convo, Muse, that you and I had off air, I'm going to guess that the Raiders-Patriots probably comes up. You think?
Strong possibility. Strong to quite strong possibility.
What in the world? What in the world?
It was like a car accident. You just couldn't stop watching.
It was a tie game.
Yeah. Hey, Matt.
That was the least Belichickian thing ever.
After regulation, if the game's tied, is it over?
No, they have overtime.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool. So there was an option.
You probably should have just done that. Just gone to overtime. If you didn't see it, how could you have missed it? Like by the nature of the fact that you're listening to this show, you are a dedicated sports fan, such that you are not only spending your free time watching sports, but you are listening to conversations about sports because you want to more deeply and fully digest sports. The Patriots were trying to win on a walk-off, and they played the lateral game after a handoff. It was a long run, and they're playing the lateral game, and for some unknown reason, your boy just chucks one to the middle of the field. It's picked off by Chandler Jones, who stiff-arms Mac Jones into straight to hell. I mean, stiff-armed him straight to hell and ran it back 50 whatever yards for the game winner. A walk-off, picked off lateral, which I had to learn this yesterday. Do you know how that's – it is late. Do you know how that's officially scored?
I would imagine fumble.
It's a fumble, yeah. So it's a fumble return for a touchdown. But holy moly. All right, we're so late. All right, Muse will have Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
If you've been stiff-armed straight to hell, get Gordon and get it done. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. I'm sure they're going to love to hear that one. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. I saw Gordon on Saturday. Had a holiday party, and then after that, I went and picked up dinner for Erica. Went and picked up one of her favorites, and got to see Gordon and his lovely wife and some friends there as well. It's great people. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Call 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Gordon has been, and his staff of attorneys have been helping injured people in Louisiana for 30 years now. And the newest member of the G team, of course, we've been telling you all throughout the year about all the great NIL deals that Gordon's done, building the G team. But the newest member, of course, Coach Kim Mulkey, just in time for the Get Gordon 500 bike giveaway that they did last week around the holidays. So awesome to be part of the Get Gordon team. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, Muso. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Colts Vikings. Justin Jefferson, 12 receptions off of 16 targets for a $123 and a touchdown, and the Vikings come from behind victory. Danielle Hunter, also with his presence felt, 5 total tackles in the game. 1.5 sacks on Matt Ryan. Hit the quarterback 4 times total in the game. Stuff in the stat sheet, Danielle Hunter. Ravens, Browns. Grant Delpit, leading tackler for Cleveland. 9 tackles in the game. 2 of those were for a loss. 8 of them were solo. Deion Jones, nice little day as well. 3 tackles and a sack for him, and a pass defense for Deion Jones. Cade York, a little rocky on the field goals, 50%, 2 of 4 with a long of 47. Did hit his one and only extra point, so 7 points in the game for Cade York there. Dolphins, Bills. Tre'Davious White, 3 tackles in the game, but how about 3 passes defense for the former Tiger, who's finally kind of getting his bearings back about him after recovering from the ACL injury the majority of the season. Falcons, Saints, big day for Tyrann Mathieu. Honey Badger, 6 tackles, had a sack and defense 2 passes for the New Orleans Saints in their victory over the Atlanta Falcons. And then a couple different Tigers in action, of course, Bengals and Buccaneers. Joey B, 27 of 39 for 200 yards, even 4 touchdowns, 1 interception in the game. Did run the ball 3 times for 8 yards. Jamar Chase, of those 27 completions, Chase was on the receiving end of 7 of them for 60 yards and a touchdown, a long of 15. On the other sideline, Leonard Fournette, 10 carries for 44 yards, 4 receptions for 30 yards, 74 yards from scrimmage for Leonard did not find the end zone. And we'll wrap it up with Devin White. 7 tackles in the football game, 1 hit on the quarterback. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, Christmas is on Sunday. Thrill her with a gift in the red box this Christmas. If it's a beautiful necklace, earrings, a watch, a diamond ring, if you're popping the question, you know where to go. The place where Baton Rouge is going to get engaged for more than 40 years. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. That's lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Best selection, and you always get the Lee Michaels experience. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, let's after further review, put a button here on hour number 2. After SportsCenter, we'll get you caught up on national headlines. Did we check to see if we have SportsCenter?
There is no broadcasting conflict with it, so it should be there.
Okay. Stay tuned because we're about to find out if they're actually going to feed SportsCenter down the line. And if not, we'll be back with some football takeaways from the weekend. Brian Kelly getting you up to date here as LSU's getting ready 2 weeks out, taking on Purdue in the Citrus Bowl. It's all coming up in hour 3 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Of course, very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays from our friends over at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You know where to find them at Michelli.com, celebrating 75 years. It's been really fun, actually, if you follow Michelli, in particular on LinkedIn. All year long, they've been posting old photos from the 75 years they've been in business. Really a way to respect and tap into their great history there. If you want to work for a company that's been around for 75 years and is certainly looking forward to going for 75 more, go to Michelli.com, Michelli.com, hit the Careers tab, and you'll see right there. It'll say Apply Now right in the middle. You can tap that and find the job you're looking for and apply right there online at Michelli.com. For Michelli Weighing and Measurement, if you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure for more than 75 years. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Again, online at Michelli.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Sylvia Weatherspoon in the WBRZ studios. Here is a preview of some of the stories we're working on for News 2. A brazen display of stunt driving shut down I-10 in Baton Rouge this weekend. We're getting answers tonight from officials about their plans to crack down on these dangerous and deadly displays. Baton Rouge prepares to say farewell to a fire captain who died on the job. We'll take you to a procession held today in his honor. And a bizarre search for a booze bandit on the west side. More tonight on WBRZ.
A third of youth who grow up in foster care are homeless 18 months after aging out of care. But you can rewrite that story. Children and youth with CASA and GAL volunteers are more likely to find safe, permanent homes. Change a child's story. Become a volunteer today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Final week here before Christmas. By the way, today is the first day of Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah to all of our Jewish brethren and sisterithin. No, just brethren, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. Brothers and sisters.
Is there, so when we say brethren, is there a female conjugation there? I don't know.
I let's look it up. I can look it up.
Please do. If there is, that would be great to learn. That would be my what we learned today, if we still did what we learned. But I usually just run the show right up to the end to Otter, and he's good at it. So anything?
Not yet.
Okay. Let me know if you find it there. But anyway, great time of year. So wish everybody just a very, certainly Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is that you're celebrating this time of year. Hope it's a great time to be with friends and family and all that stuff. So hope everyone has an awesome time. Looking forward to this week and then heading into the holiday weekend for us and be off next week. I'll be off next week. So I want to get to our football takeaways in just a moment. One other thing that we'll touch on coming up is Brian Kelly will give you an update of what he had to say as LSU's preparing for the bowl game and how the bowl prep is going. That's coming up here. But he did also talk about Kayshon Boutte's decision to return. And I was surprised when we got that word a couple of weeks ago. I was very surprised. I was not anticipating that. I think the way that many of you felt, I felt the same way. I just always assumed that he was going and never even bothered to ask if that was even a decision that he was preparing to make. But here was Brian Kelly on Kayshon Boutte's decision to return.
Everybody has evolved in this program. Kayshon's not different than anybody else. I think that everybody's worked really hard at trying to do the things necessary on a day-to-day basis to be a champion, both on and off the field. And that's the expectations that we have for all of our players, not just Kayshon. So you have choices, right? I mean, you can choose to stay and continue to work on those things necessary to be a champion, or you can move on. Obviously, with his announcement, he chose that he wants to continue to work on those things, and good for him. But those guys that have eligibility remaining that want to be here know that there's a standard, and they have to continue to work towards that standard every day, and he's no different.
I think Kayshon made a decision where it's certainly an illustration and a validation of the program Brian Kelly is building. When you get a guy who entered this season as a projected top half of round one guy, maybe the first receiver taken in the draft, who went through a lot personally, right? Had the birth of his son, had some struggles on the field, but continued to progress. And listen, let's be very clear. If Kayshon had another blow-up type season, he'd be in the draft. but he didn't. And a lot of the agents and draft scouts, analysts that I've talked to have said kind of the feedback he was getting was mid-second to mid-third, somewhere in there. So when you're talking about pick, say 50 to 75 range, that's a drastically different financial reality than top 10 pick of the draft. So come back and earn your money. And he's going to do it. That shows, I think, a ton of maturity, so good for him. All right, it's after further review. A lot we're going to get to here. Of course, brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. I was chatting earlier today, just today, and it was storming as we walked here into studio. I tell you all the time when it rains, our phones blow up. Phones and online submissions. If you need that inspection, the free no-obligation roofing inspection, you can always go to the website, HudcoRoofing.com. Fill out the form right there on the homepage. HudcoRoofing.com will take you 30 seconds. And then you're automatically in our system. We'll be in touch to schedule. If you'd prefer to call, you can. We will have a human being answer the phone. It's not an automated service. 364-1007, 364-1007. It's the office line. It also forwards to several people's phone numbers, so you're more likely to get someone on your first ring. 364-1007. There is a number for Bossier as well, so if you're north of Alexandria, you can dial the 318 number, 318-584-0044. So you can get all that at the website, HudcoRoofing.com. Had a call earlier today from someone representing a buyer of a commercial building. They need the roof inspection before they can go to close. So I tell you all the time, if it's commercial, residential, repairs, replacements, we do it all. It's Hudco Roofing. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, let's do some football takeaways from the weekend. Hit it, Buse.
We watched. Now let's review.
All right, Muse, do you want to start us off?
Sure, I'll start us
off.
off.
All right, go ahead there. Take it away.
The Colts stink. I mean, we kind of already knew that. Fired their coach. They hired a guy who had no NFL head coaching experience in Jeff Saturday. But also, Matt Ryan's your quarterback. No lead is ever safe when Matt Ryan is your quarterback. Wrong side of history. 33-0. 33-0. You scored 3 points in the second half and lost.
I remember watching the 1992 the playoff game with the Bills and the Oilers. I was young, but when you see something like that, it's so jarring that it's memorable. You'll never forget it. That's on Saturday I had Minnesota minus 3.5. So it was 30-0 at halftime, whatever.
33.
It was. At half, it was
33-0 at halftime.
So I was like, yeah, well, I turned it off. I went about my day. I did chores around the house. Erica was running errands, so I had Drew. I didn't. And I pulled up my DraftKings app, to check on the next games or whatever. And I saw that the Bills or the
Vikings,
the Vikings Colts was still open, and it said overtime. I'm like, overtime?
Yeah.
What the hell happened?
Yeah.
So I still don't know what happened. I mean, clearly just a collapse. I mean, was it turnovers? What happened?
Yeah, no, I mean, there were turnovers involved for sure in there. I believe most of them were fumbles. Let me get the box score pulled back up for you here.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
you'd almost have to have that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, 33-0 at halftime. You're feeling pretty good. There was a fumble lost in there. There were two defensive and special team scores. I mean, yeah, it's just, come on. What are you doing?
That right. Okay. Paul, you got anything over there?
I got one.
Okay.
I'm going to call it right now.
You're calling it.
Father Time has finally caught up to Tom Brady.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I called that before the season started, so what's your point? I didn't get much right. At least I got that right.
Well, no, I'm calling.
Well, you can't call it because I already called it.
I'm calling it after you're calling it.
Okay.
I'm adding to your call.
I got it. You're validating my call.
To hell with that. I'm playing for Chubbs.
Tampa blew a 17-0 lead. Brady turned the ball over. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. Tampa stinks, but Brady did not play well yesterday.
I mean, one of the fumbles, they were both his fault. The fumble that was on the exchange with Fournette, that was on Brady. It slipped out of his hand. He almost threw it at Fournette. And then the other one, when he was being tackled, he just didn't protect the football. Got punched out. That was incredible to watch that unfold. Tampa was in complete control of the game, and then just 3 consecutive possessions turned the ball over. deep in their territory, and you were just like, oh, that escalated quickly.
A lot of blown leads over the weekend, man.
Can you please take that down just a
Sure.
smidge? Okay, you want to hit the... So I did watch the Las Vegas Bowl, watched a lot of football on Saturday. Florida got blown out by Oregon State. That was no surprise. They had some guy named Jack Miller starting at quarterback. Their whole team opted out. Oregon State's a really good physical team who had won 9 games. First time Oregon State's won 10. They won the bowl game. So first time Oregon State's won 10 games since 2000. When Jonathan Smith, their now coach, was their quarterback on the team with Chad Johnson and TJ Houshmadilla. TJ Houshmazode. TJ Houshmama.
Houshmama, yeah.
Lock it up. Championship. I was at that Fiesta Bowl. They played Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. Blew the doors off of them. That was the year I lived in South Bend. Me, my brother, and my dad went to that Fiesta Bowl. Absolutely kicked the ever-living hell out of Notre Dame in that game. Anyway, first time they won 10 games since, but that's not the story. Florida was losing 30-0 and kicked a field goal with 36 seconds left in the game to preserve their scoring streak. Florida has not been shut out since 1988, a span of 436 games, the longest scoring streak in the country, 57 games longer than the next closest team. And Florida decided to kick a field goal with 36 seconds left to avoid the shutout and keep that streak going. Total weak sauce, Billy Napier. It's just a streak. Go for the score. Go for the touchdown. Anyway, Florida, weak sauce. See ya.
Love a good sad field goal.
Bro.
Bills
Point laugh.
Bills Mafia. Those hooligans. It was snowing, right, in Orchard Park. We all saw that. I don't know if you saw the pictures of, like, the stands, but a lot of the fans could not sit down because it was just, there was just mounds of snow.
Before the game, there was like a Santa Claus, a guy in a Santa suit just sitting in there just like throwing the snow, like all by his lonesome.
Like they're just standing in snow watching this game. And they were throwing snowballs on the field, particularly when the Dolphins were in the red zone trying to score a touchdown. Their aim is terrible.
They hit the
camera guy. Totally missed the player. Like, if you're watching,
what's the camera guy?
Tua's going to step up, throw in there. There's like 5 snowballs that come in, and none of them hit anyone except the cameraman.
Boom! Poor camera guy.
I love Bills Mafia. They're so
camera
good.
Guy?
Because it's Bills Mafia, Matt. That's why.
They're the worst.
You can't take them anywhere.
I'm so over Buffalo forever. All right, Paulie. You got anything else, Paulie?
I'm going to call another one.
Okay.
Here we go.
Brett Favre, past his prime.
I'm going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win the division.
Hey.
Going to win the division?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they beat the Cowboys yesterday.
They did.
The remaining schedule, they played the Jets, the Texans, and then they end their season with the Titans. They're only a game back of Tennessee right now. Tennessee just doesn't look good. I think Jacksonville's going to do it. They're going to win.
Okay. I'll disagree with you. Just on merit. On principle, I'm disagreeing. And if they do win, I'm going to come up from behind you and say, I'm picking them to win it.
Calling it.
I learned what wasabi is this weekend.
The Japanese condiment?
Nope.
It's really hot.
Nope.
Spicy.
Not that. Knew what that was.
Okay.
Get it with sushi all the time. The Fenway Bowl was the wasabi Fenway Bowl. Not the Japanese condiment. It's a hot cloud storage company. Wasabi.
Hot cloud. I get it.
I don't get it.
Because wasabi's hot.
Oh, sure. Now you use the rim shot.
You like that?
No, I don't, actually. I'm kind of pissed about it, actually.
Nah.
For 2 friggin' years, I sit here and ask you to give me that damn sound effect. And then you use it for yourself on a bad joke.
That's when you use a rim shot.
I get it, but that doesn't even hold because calling it a hot cloud storage has nothing to do with wasabi being hot.
It does.
No, it has not. You don't even know anything about the company. You didn't know this existed. I had to tell you about that in the break.
Well, yeah, it's the hottest cloud storage because it's wasabi. Their cloud storage is the hottest because,
No.
Yeah.
What's hot cloud storage?
I have no idea.
Bingo. You don't know nothing about that. But now you know something called wasabi exists. All right. You got any more?
Hey, Ramondre Stevenson, go down. Jacoby Myers, go down and play overtime.
Idiots. But it was really funny.
What do you think Matt Jones was thinking, just seeing Jacoby Myers fling the ball back towards him? Also, why are you trying to lateral it to your quarterback, who would have to go like 60 yards to score?
It was just the closest guy to him. Hell of a good play. Hell of a good play, though, by Chandler Jones to catch the ball.
Yeah.
To stay on his feet, stiff arm Mac Jones straight to hell. And then,
Mac
follow
Jones,
his caravan 50 yards. Mac Jones after the game was like, yeah, I got to make the tackle.
No, Mac, you don't. You don't. You're never making that tackle,
You really
okay?
don't. No, you really don't, dude.
I admire it, but no. Come on. Brutal.
Hit the thing.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, I thought we were done.
Paul's got to go, and then I have to go.
Oh, okay, Paul.
This isn't the first time we've done this. Just come on. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
You got any other bold predictions over there, Paulie?
Not a bold prediction, but
Okay.
an obvious, answer. The Jets quarterback situation stinks.
Bad. It's bad. Think they ever were going to be disappointed that Mike White couldn't play anymore?
No.
No.
No, I didn't think that. I hate Devin Singletary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I hate him. I mean, 29 seconds to go in the game. It's 2nd and 8 at the Miami 11. The Dolphins are going to let him score. And he decided to go down at the 4-yard line, settle for a game-winning field goal instead of scoring the touchdown that would have given Buffalo Bedors the push. And for that, my family doesn't get to have a Christmas now. Devin Singletary, you selfish son of a bugger. How's that make you feel? So selfish, Devin Singletary. I'll never cheer for you in anything again. Not that I ever cheer for you in anything anyway. Quit being so selfish, Gene. All right, that's it. That's our takeaways. All right, Brian Kelly updates bowl practice next, AFR.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential, if you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. The most user-friendly website in real estate, but mostly when it comes to Darren James. It's all about getting you into whatever the next phase of life is. Darren has a way of making you feel like you're his only client, despite the fact that he literally sells more homes than anyone. He's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Darren always says, if it's important to that person, then it's important to me. So if your family's growing and you need a bigger home, if you're an empty nester and you need a smaller home, maybe you're selling a piece of property as part of a succession, Darren James will get you results and get you on with your life. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Jamie Hodges said the term is sistren, like brethren. Did you find it or no?
What I found said that in today's terms, it's gender neutral. So I just assumed there wasn't, but sisterin. Okay.
Brethren and sistren. Yes, sistren, a close female friend, family member, or comrade. Sistren. Yep, there it is. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie Hodges. Shout out. I forgot why we were talking about that. When I said, I was talking about it being Hanukkah. So to our Jewish brethren and, did I say sistren or did I say sistern?
I think you said sistren, yeah.
I probably screwed it up. I'm sure I did. And shout out, Jack Nunnally mentioned this as well. We were talking about Jack Besh transferring to TCU. JoJo Earl also picked TCU. So JoJo Earl was a one-time LSU commit who flipped, signed with Bama, and is now going to TCU. You can just tell. In that offense with Sonny Dykes, who's part of the Mike Leach tree, where they're going to spread it, throw it a bunch, and use a lot of receivers. 3 of their top 5 receivers are seniors. The other 2 are juniors, and one of them is likely to go pro. So TCU could be replacing 4 of their top 5 receivers this year, so it makes a lot of sense. You have a different quarterback. Obviously, Max Duggan has announced he's going pro, but opportunity there for Jack Besh and the others that are heading there. You can always text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways that you can get in, and we appreciate you being there. Yes, and we did also, and that's odd, because we did also have a, this is like back-to-back shows where we had Blaine Gabbert references. We were running through like awful first-round picks that were busts, and I was running through, and I was like, hey, the guy was the long-haired guy from Missouri. I forgot his name was Blaine Gabbert. And then we had a Blaine Gabbert reference today because he's a free agent quarterback. So you're looking at the free agents that the veteran free agents who the Saints might be interested in this offseason to pair with what I presume would be a draft pick. The list is not, it's long, but it is certainly not distinguished, and Blaine Gabbert is on it. Brian Kelly on Saturday met with reporters, kind of preview bowl practice. The most notable thing he said was an update on Jaden Daniels, who he said, look, if they had to play a game today, Jaden Daniels would play. So he's still coming back off the ankle injury, but I think most notably is that Jaden Daniels is playing. Would we agree? It's one of the big questions has been if Daniels would play in the bowl, if he would opt out, is he going pro, is he returning? Well, he's practicing, and he's rehabbing this ankle injury, so it certainly is pointing toward him playing in the game, and that would lead you to believe there's a strong possibility, at least, that that he returns next season. So Daniels getting healthier. Ojulari has opted out. Mekhi Gardner will not play as well. But as far as bowl practice as well, Brian Kelly did talk a little bit about that. He talked about getting young guys some work in these practices, which we often say is the benefit of playing in the bowl game now, is the 15 extra practices.
We got a lot of the guys, some work. It was good to see, like, Landon Ibieta back. He had been out most of the season. And, we hadn't seen much of him, but he can catch the football. He's elusive. Nice to see Quincy Wiggins, where, he was kind of stalemated at that fourth game. And being able to get him out there and practice quite a bit was really good. I say, LaTerrence Welch, and I could probably give you a few more guys. But this is that time where you get a chance to see them, and then we'll watch the film today and probably see a few more guys that, Walker Howard obviously looked really good in the red zone today.
So he did mention a few names there. Landon Ibieta is a guy whose name I heard early on, the freshman who I heard early on, but injuries essentially cost him this entire season. Not sure he would have found a way to crack the rotation either way. Quincy Wiggins is someone who we mentioned who played in the 4 games. They were intended on redshirting. Well, now with the new NCAA rule, there are 2 players on LSU's team, 2, that have played in 4 games, that if they play again would lose the year of eligibility. One is Derek Davis, who's in the portal, so scratch him. The other is Quincy Wiggins. So you're going to see Quincy Wiggins very likely be part of some rotation and be on the field in this bowl game, which is really good news. Now, Kelly also talked just about the time of year, because and it is different now, because not only are you preparing for a bowl game, but because of the early signing period and the transfer portal, like, this was a massive recruiting weekend for LSU with transfers and the high school players on campus. So you're 2 weeks out from your bowl game, but you're also head down grinding, getting ready for early signing period, which starts on Wednesday. Here was Brian Kelly on the time of year.
I mean, look, there's a lot to manage. I've got a great staff. I can't do it by myself, but I've got a great personnel staff. I've got a great recruiting staff, and it allows me to, stay at 35,000 feet in a sense that I can see the whole thing, because I have such great support staff that are giving me the information necessary to make the decisions that need to be made, because decisions still have to be made relative to, are we going into the portal? What are we doing relative to, this recruiting or, roster and roster management and all of those things. I love it. There's a lot of pieces to this, and it's moving quickly, but I embrace it, and I think it's because I've got a really good staff.
That's a very great measured answer to the question, and giving props to all the support staff and how they're able to manage it. But ultimately, the answer is you don't have a choice. The early signing period's here. It's not going away. Transfer portal exists. That's not going away either. Might you have different modifications to it? We'll see. But, I had this conversation with Jay Johnson last week. We recorded an episode of Rosters to Riches, which is an NIL podcast I do with Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint. If you're not familiar, would highly recommend go check it out on your favorite podcast app. It's Rosters to Riches. And we recorded an episode with Jay, and which will drop after Christmas. But, I asked him that, kind of his opinion on NIL. He said it doesn't matter what my opinion is at all. Like, it's the system. So you just, regardless of how you feel about it, you have to maximize your opportunity there. So same with Brian Kelly in football right now. I mean, you may prefer how it was 20, 30, 50 years ago, bowl prep and all that stuff, but that's not it anymore. That's not the reality. So you've got to maximize this time. There's a December signing period. And the benefit, by the way, the mutual benefit to the early signing period is you don't have to keep recruiting these players all the way into February only to have them potentially flip on you at the last minute. You get them locked in. You know where you stand with these recruits, right? I mean, that is the mutual benefit. If there's a guy and you've taken his commitment and you're lukewarm on him, he knows. But similarly, if you've taken a commitment and that guy isn't ready to sign in December, you better keep recruiting him or someone else at his position to have a contingency. So there's pros and cons to it, but that's the benefit of having a staff like Brian Kelly does, as he sort of illustrated there. One more from Kelly, and he was asked about preparing for Purdue because of the opt-outs. New head coach, new quarterback, all without their top 2 receiving targets. Here's what Brian Kelly said about the Boilers.
Well, we've watched their backup quarterback. He played 6 to 8 snaps against, I think it's Florida Atlantic, so we know who he is. And look, they're playing LSU. They're going to play hard. They're going to play for 4 quarters. They're a Big Ten team. They've got scholarship players. So, we're not really that concerned about Purdue not showing up and playing, really well. I think what we're concerned is, what we do and how we do it. You don't tackle a lot during these bowl games. We have some guys that are not going to be playing. So I think our focus has really been much more on what we do and how we do it and our preparation, more so than, really concerning ourselves with what Purdue's situation is.
Brian Kelly, again, meeting with the media on Saturday here in advance or during, right in the middle of bowl prep. Should mention the Brian Kelly radio show. The final one of the year is coming up this Wednesday. You can hear it on our sister station, Eagle 98.1, over at TJ Ribs on Acadian. But it'll be another opportunity to hear Brian Kelly before Christmas, and then obviously next week they get into game week and they roll out to Orlando to take on the Boilermakers on January the 2nd. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Hoops tonight, Pell's, Bucks. Give you a little thumbnail and check the injury report, which unfortunately has been far too relevant for this Pelicans team here of late, as they have now lost 3 in a row after the great home series win against the Suns last weekend. They lose 3 in a row, and they're back at it tonight against Giannis and the Bucks, so a tall task. But we'll talk some Pels when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Look, you don't need me to tell you. It's going to get really cold this week. As a matter of fact, it's cold right now. But Christmas Eve, we're going to be looking at temperatures in the teens. Christmas Day, it's going to be below freezing. Is your heater ready? If not, if you're not sure, call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001. Love sharing 5-star reviews. This one came in from a customer named Alan, who said he's very professional and courteous, even explained a problem with the ladder for the entrance to the attic. The world needs more Bellamy's everywhere. That was about Bellamy Sylvester, one of the technicians from River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks. It's River City's 1 Hour Air.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Winter can be magical. The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is here, and there's no better time to check out our new Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge inventory. We have the vehicles that can make your holiday extraordinary. See all the latest technological features on the newest models during our Mercedes-Benz Winter Event. Shop our best of the best award-winning dealership. Visit mbobr.com.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, it's game day for the Pells. They take on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, 7 p.m. at the Blender. It's going to be a really good opportunity for New Orleans. We were a week ago at this time sky high. The Pells were in first place. They had extended their first place lead after winning a pair of games against Phoenix. They go on the road and they lose a couple at Utah, and then they blow a big lead at Phoenix on Saturday. And now they come home after losing 3 straight, but they come home to a spot where they've been really good. New Orleans is 12-3 at home on the season, but they welcome in the Milwaukee Bucks, who at 21-8 on the season are one of the, obviously, elite teams in the entire NBA. They're currently second in the Eastern Conference. The Pels are second in the Western Conference, so battle of teams. They're currently second in their respective leagues. And Pels have got a 7-game home win streak going right now. Zion's been huge. And this will be a great matchup to watch 2 of the premier young players in the entire NBA with Zion and Giannis tonight. One little note, as literally just about 10 or 15 minutes ago, Willie Green had met with the media. He did announce that Larry Nance is going to be out for the ball game tonight. Has an Achilles injury. It's being termed, I'm trying to get exactly how I phrase it. I believe he said Achilles soreness, right Achilles soreness. So Larry Nance Jr. is out for the game tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. So Pels Bucks, 7 o'clock from the Blender. Bring it loud if you're going to be in that number. Pels have been great at home. Winners of 7 straight at home. They're 12-3 at home on the season, and an opportunity to score a marquee win if they can get it against the Milwaukee Bucks tonight at the Blender. Again, 7 o'clock on Bally Sports New Orleans if you want to watch. Of course, you can listen to Graf on the radio call as well. They're in NOLA. Just quickly looking at the schedule, how it kind of lays out for the Pels here in the days ahead as you move through the Christmas break. So. Back-to-back home games tonight against Milwaukee, Thursday at home against San Antonio. Friday, they're at OKC. Then they're off for Christmas. They're back home against Indiana on Monday, and then home against Minnesota on Wednesday. And then they're a Monday, Wednesday, Friday week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday at home against Philly. And then tough back-to-back there because you go on the road Saturday on New Year's Eve at Memphis. But an opportunity here after this little grind where you had back-to-back games against Utah, then Phoenix, now home against Milwaukee. It lightens up with San Antonio at OKC, home against the Pacers, and Pacers, T-Wolves, Sixers. So an opportunity for New Orleans to catch their feet a little bit here after a tough 3-game stretch. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Gift cards are a great option for anyone on your list this time of year at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. But most importantly, it's always telling you about HRT, hormone replacement therapy. That's what gets so many people through the door. It's the opportunity to feel like your younger self. We all age, all of us. It just happens at a different rate in different people. There's nothing you do that handles that could matter. And a lot of times there can be accelerators like stress. And so if you don't feel like you did, if you struggle to sleep at night, you don't wake up feeling rested or refreshed, if you find you hold on to stubborn belly fat more often, it's harder to lose weight. You get into the gym, you don't build muscle, you don't have the motivation to get in the gym. A lot of that can be a hormone deficiency. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for HRT. And I'm telling you what happens. One of the first days I ever walked through there, and Kurt Kepper over at Aesthetic told me, he said, so many guys walk in here thinking it's a clinic for women. But you get on hormone therapy, you start feeling better, and then you start looking around going, man, what else you got? And that's when sometimes it'll lead you to things like maybe it's Botox or vampire facials or laser hair removal or any of the other treatments we talk about. But if you want to look and feel like your younger self, you can at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online, theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. Earlier this hour, last hour, we were talking about the Saints' future quarterback situation. And we were running through it because what seems to be a given right now is Jameis Winston's not going to be back. They'd have to pay him nearly $13 million cash. That's not going to happen. They're going to cut Jameis. They'll save about $4.5 million against the cap. It'll still be a big dead number, but they'll save money against the cap by cutting him, which is going to happen. And Andy Dalton's a free agent. So you're faced with the question, do you bring back Andy Dalton? Do you seek another free agent, however that may look? Most certainly you're going to look at the draft for a quarterback. I got a text from Joel in Zachary who said, Matt, the Saints don't need to draft a quarterback. They need to copy the Niners' business plan with a dominant defense and a strong running game. That allows you to plug in literally anyone at quarterback, Purdy, Bridgewater, even Moscona. Okay. Hey, Joel, how many championships have the Niners won with this system? If that's, you want to win games, yes. You can win games like that. The Saints did it a year ago. The Saints were 9-8 a year ago, playing more players, more different starters than anyone in the history of the NFL. Used 4 different quarterbacks. Jameis, Taysom, Simeon, Ian Book. Went 9-8. Missed the playoffs. You can win games. You're not winning championships without elite level quarterback play. You can even look back at the Eagles with Nick Foles. And you can say, well, they won it with Nick Foles. They did. Did you watch Nick Foles play down that stretch? He was playing the position at an elite level. He may not be a career elite starting quarterback, but in that run with that team, he was. Matt Stafford, the Rams, first overall pick. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Like, do you need to go down the list? I mean, it ain't a coincidence. Who are the best quarterbacks in the NFL? Who are the best teams in the NFL? The Bills, Josh Allen, first rounder. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, number 1 overall pick. You got to, like, it's stunning to me that I actually have to spell this out for you. Yes, you need elite level quarterback play, which is why San Francisco can't get over the hump. They got a really good roster, but quarterback play basically is why they hit their head against a glass ceiling. You got to have great quarterback play. And they don't. So they're not going to win. You can win games. You're not winning championships. So yes, the Saints need a quarterback in the worst way. It's amazing that I actually had to sit here and explain that. Why elite level quarterback play matters in the NFL or in the modern day of football. This goes to show you, man. You can't take certain opinions for granted and just assume everybody knows or thinks a certain way, because there are people out there who think differently. All right, it's after further review. I'm glad you're hanging out with us here. Otterlocks is coming up next. We're not going to break. Jimmy will be back. Got Monday Night Football tonight. Rams and Packers from Lambeau. What side is the Otter falling on? We'll find out. We come back next for a little Otterlocks. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Thank you, Acadiana, for over 55 years of allowing Corval Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From the Corval Toyota family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. One thing left to do, find out we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Oh, great. Exhausted from this weekend. I mean, my goodness. You talk about some crazy stuff. And, you know, Matt, maybe just a lot of people are overreacting. I think that to expect the NFL players, it's, as far as situational awareness is concerned, to know whether they're winning, losing, or tied, it's a little much. It's just a little much. Huh?
Every time I watch the end of the Raiders Patriots, and it's stunning, man. It is stunning to watch it over and over again, because maybe look, if that were Detroit, okay. I mean, I respect Detroit's playing well, but historically,
right.
The fact that it's New England just
Yes.
further magnifies how improbable that was.
Well, they are not that type of high football IQ team this year. I mean, they are just, and it's kind of where Belichick is slipping, man. I mean, it's just that simple. How about their offensive attack? Mac Jones at one point, 26 attempts, he had like 69 yards. What, 2.5 yards per attempt? I mean, what are they doing? Throwing the ball backwards? I mean, it's just. I mean, and then, watching the Colts snap the ball with 13, 15, 18 seconds. You watch the end of the about the 10-minute mark on with Joe Burrow. Every snap, 1 second.
Yeah.
Every snap. I mean, just every little edge, man. It's so hard to win. So, and then you have that Salah. He's got a couple of timeouts under his tree for the Jets. He just didn't use them. It's just crazy. All the analytics, all this. It's I don't know, man. It was wild. It's up to 70-1 on the Vikings in game. You could have got to win the game. So
incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it was a wild day. And my biggest play of the day yesterday. And I'm proud of my handicap. A 3-1-1 yesterday. We went slightly over 500. Hit the first bowl games. Was the Las Vegas Raiders. Just win, baby.
That was your best play of the day.
Yeah,
rocking All right, you got anything on Rams Packers tonight?
All right, this is a doozy. Huh? Maybe the most eventful Saturday and Sunday I can remember, because I love that day. World Cup even was awesome as a lead-in. Got over it was like somebody planned this. But the Green Bay Packers 7.5 and 39.5. Is that what you're showing right now?
Yep.
Okay. The public is on the favorite. The public is on the over. Imagine that. Here we go. Did Baker Mayfield show us a little something on Monday night in that comeback, or is it just that was just a little that's not sustainable? For that little time over there. I don't know, but they did play hard, and I'm kind of leaning toward taking the points here. So, a little small play on the Rams, plus 7.5 in this game tonight.
All right.
Nothing crazy. We got. I do have a bowl game for you tomorrow afternoon before we get on.
Did you play the Myrtle Beach Bowl?
Under 43.
Okay.
How'd that work?
I don't know what the final was.
28-14.
Okay.
Shamrock. Meet rear end. Okay?
All right, so what are you looking at tomorrow? Are you looking at the Eastern Michigan-San Jose State game?
Yeah, we're going to take Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan went 3.5 games over their projected win total this year. They are excited to be there. There'll be no opt-outs in that one. San Jose State's had a little bit more success, but it's just the teams that are excited to be there. It's meaning something right now. So the line's going from 3.5 to 4. You get a little bit better number right there. So we're on Eastern Michigan plus a 4 in the early bowl game tomorrow.
All right, Otter, where are you tonight?
Rouge Creole, man. Got a nice crowd over here. Get out of the nasty weather.
I know.
And nice and warm over here. Got a great wine selection. Our buddy Stick New Church, making sure everybody is welcome over here.
What's up, Stick?
Yeah. So
used to run into Stick over at Lanyap all the time, man.
Absolutely.
Tell Stick I said what's up. That's a part of the world where, bro, everybody got a nickname, and you're known by your nickname. So,
and listen, when those noon games are all those the back doors were open for the Christmas season yesterday at noon. Huh?
Otter. I mean, I'm looking at what did Magnolia Bluffs Football Sunday do yesterday? What was the record? Do you know offhand?
It was 7-5-1.
Okay,
7-5-1. I went 3-1-1. So everybody else went.
Another winning day, but the crazy thing is, like, those noon games, I'm sitting there right at the last 2 minutes sweating, and then, like, boom, here comes the Bears. Boom, here comes Detroit. Like, boom. I was like, thank you, Lord. It went well. I needed it after Buffalo.
I was due a bad call, though, last night with Washington late. So,
Well, you weren't the only one. There were several on the on Magnolia Bluffs that had Washington. So, but
it was 2 of us.
It's all good. All right, Otter. Otter's got the small play on the Rams today, and then Eastern Michigan tomorrow, plus 3.5 in the early bowl game. Otter is following us here. If you're not in Baton Rouge online at 1045ESPN.com. Thank you, Otter.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, man. Have a great show. Our Monday shows is always brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Pell's Bucks tonight. Tomorrow on the show, we're looking forward to having Sean Salisbury back after we missed him last week. So we should have a really good Tuesday show as we cruise toward the holiday, man. Y'all have a great night. Muse Pauly, as always, thanks. Otter is coming up next. Stay tuned for Game Time with Jimmy Ott. Until next time, see you tomorrow. It's AFR.
AFR.
And a big shout out, as always, to Relief Windows, ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. We do appreciate Brandon and Adrian Holly's just been great supporters of the show here for so long, but more than that, great friends. Saturday night was at the Relief Windows Christmas party. Got to not only see Brandon and Adrian, but so many of our friends over at Relief Windows. Their team has grown so much over the years. Just awesome to spend that time and that fellowship and to celebrate the holidays with great people, great friends that have been just a great community partner. That's Relief Windows. Remember, if you need windows, doors, or siding, Relief Windows does it all. They do it better than anyone. And at Relief Windows, their promise is they will never take $1 from you. Never take $1 from you. No down payment. They'll never take $1 until they are finished and you are thrilled with the work they've done. That's Relief Windows. Give them a call today for that free estimate, 288-8138, 288-8138. They measure twice and install once. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.